Hello, this is my NFL Week 16 review. Like and subscribe because that's cool. Comment what your predictions were. Comment your next week predictions. Let's get straight into it. All right, Jaguars versus Jets. An absolute shit fest. I'll do my prediction first and then the review. Let me pull up ESPN real quick so I can get some statistics for a more brainium review. Because, we love brains. Brains are cool. It is taking me ages to find this. Jaguars. I said the Jaguars were going to win this because the Jaguars have been pretty hot recently. Trevor Lawrence has absolutely improved as a quarterback. I've loved to see it too. Christian Kirk's doing great there. And the Jaguars all around are just doing a lot better. Especially, with that win over the Cowboys, massive. And to be honest, now that Mike White is out for the Jets and it's up to Zach Wilson, I do believe, Zach Wilson did better in the Lions game. He did better, but he also, he's been so terrible this year. He just isn't the best quarterback. I gave him a little bit of hope from what he did the previous week, but of course there's never any consistency between quarterbacks. He wasn't able to do shit. The crowd literally cheered when the third string came in. I don't think he did anything either. And Zach Wilson was 9 for 18, 92 yards and 1 interception. Just terrible, terrible, terrible performance. They could have easily beaten the Jaguars. After all, the Jags only scored 19 points, but it was just there was nothing getting done by the Jets. Bills versus Bears. A game I said was going to be relatively close because the Bears have been pretty good recently, and it was a pretty close game. The Bears were up at halftime 10-6, and they were also in the fourth quarter. They were on the Bills' ass, and then the Bills scored a touchdown with 3 minutes 45 seconds left, and then they scored another touchdown, most likely given by an interception or a turnover, any turnover, maybe no good fourth down conversion, and scored another touchdown to pretty much separate the score. To me, this game really should have stopped at 21-13. Maybe I'll give them 28. No, I'll give them 28-13, but the extra 35 just makes it look like a beatdown. Really wasn't. It was a pretty close and compacted game, although not as close as I said it was going to be. Jalen Hurts was 15 for 23, 119 yards and a touchdown. Josh Allen was 15 for 26, 172 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. So it doesn't look like Justin Fields turned the ball over. But we did have an interception. Did Justin Fields get knocked out? I'm kind of seeing that. Maybe Justin Fields got knocked out. And the Bears are 1 for 4 on fourth down efficiency that game. So yeah, maybe Justin Fields got knocked out. Personally, I don't know, but it wasn't that close. It wasn't as close as I said it would be. 28-13, whatever. Bears are 3-12. They weren't it this year. Saints versus Browns. My exact prediction, I believe, was that the Saints were going to be beating the Browns. And then Deshaun Watson would get knocked out with a concussion, and Brissett would come in and carry the Browns to victory. That didn't happen. Deshaun Watson sat in the game, and the Browns got their ass beat. Deshaun Watson's got to go. Put the other guy in. Just get this shithead out of here. Where even is the game? I can't find it. All right, there it is. Let's see what Deshaun Watson's stats were. 15 for 31 on passes, 135 yards, and 1 interception. Andy Dalton was 8 for 15, 92 yards and 1 interception. That looks to me like there was an injury most likely. It was terrible. No scoring in the first quarter. I was at a loss for words for a second. No scoring in the first quarter, but at the start of the second quarter, the Browns put 7 in on a Deshaun Watson rushing touchdown. So he ran for a touchdown. Yeah, 12 yards. That's pretty good. Then they got 3 in. The Saints would put 3 in right before halftime. And then pretty much Taysom Hill in the game, most likely. Andy Dalton got injured. Taysom Hill would take it in for 7. And then Alvin Kamara would take it in for 7 to give him the lead at the end of the game. Ultimate Shit fest. Terrible game. Both teams had 1 turnover. Browns were 1 for 3 on fourth down efficiency. Saints were 0 for 0. They were like the exact same yards. Literally, the Browns had 5 more. And it looks like it was where's the rushing? It was the rushing game for the Saints this game. I don't really know what happened. This game is a blur for me. I didn't watch it, didn't care. I knew it was going to be terrible to watch, and so I didn't care for it. Texans versus Titans. I believe I said this in my prediction, but the reasoning I didn't give this to the Texans, even though I wanted to, was because every time I think the Texans are doing good, they're doing great, they play a team good, they shit the bed, and they lose. I said the Titans will win this. Well, of course, why not just decide to do that on the week that they actually pull it off? Titans are a absolute shithole. I cannot believe they are even in the playoff talk right now. I mean, they are so terrible. They were pretty good the past couple seasons, but this season, no. They can't get shit done. It's very embarrassing, especially the game being at the Titans. Game was delayed for weather issues, and I believe a lot of these games were super, super cold, but the Texans are really the ones that don't experience as cold as weather. I mean, Tennessee gets pretty cold. So does Texas, but not as cold as Tennessee, I believe. Seahawks versus Chiefs. A game I said was going to be really good and super high scoring, and it looked like it really could have been, but it was just our typical Kansas City game. And the Seahawks, actually, I didn't even know. The Seahawks put this touchdown on at the end of the game to make the score closer. Really, it was 24-3, and the Seahawks didn't get shit done. I hope the Seahawks lose out just so they don't get a playoff appearance. That's all I want. 49ers are going to be in. The 49ers are crushing it right now. But I just don't want the Seahawks to get in. Don't want it. Giants versus Vikings. I believe I was like pretty spanking close on this one. I said the Vikings would win it. I pretty much guessed the Giants score, but I gave the Vikings a little more points. I gave them an extra touchdown. Well, it came down to probably a last-second field goal. Pretty close competition. Yeah, literally a last-second field goal. The Giants tied it with 2 minutes left, and then they just went down the field. A 61-yard field goal to keep them out of overtime, and they hand the Giants an L. Always love to see it. Nothing really to be said there. I didn't really watch this game, so I'm not too big on it. This looked like it could have been one of the games of the week, but pretty low scoring, not very interesting. And ultimately, the Vikings are 12-3, yes, but I don't believe they deserve their record anymore. Bengals versus Patriots. I said this was going to be a Patriots upset, and when I was looking at a 22-0 score, I was like, oh god, oh shit, this video is going to suck. And then they're on the goal line, 22-18, and I'm like, dude, they could pull off this fucking upset right now, and I would be an absolute genius. And they fumbled it. But then they get the ball back, and they don't get anything done with it. The Patriots sold the upset. They absolutely sold the upset. Ridiculous. Couldn't believe it. There's a reason the Patriots are disregarded now after Tom Brady has left. They dropped to 7-8. Hopefully they lose their last game because I'm pissed. Although I am a Bengals supporter, I want the Bengals, personally, I want them to win a Super Bowl because they've never won a Super Bowl before. And Joe Burrow is a fucking amazing quarterback. He's doing wonders. I mean, after what he did in college football, now he's doing it in the NFL. Like, he's definitely something else, and I want to see him succeed. But I wanted to see this upset because I predicted it. Predicted against the team that I like in hopes that it would pay off, and it almost did. It didn't. Patriots are ass. Fuck the Patriots. Never liked the Patriots. I'm a Broncos. I'm a semi-Broncos fan. Half the family's from Colorado, and this bitch-ass team was always they were always up our ass. Always up our ass, and now it feels great to see them do shit, even though we're doing worse. Lions versus Panthers, a game I said the Lions could win. And they started to like show some life, but yeah, no, you cannot allow the Panthers to go 17 points unanswered. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 24 points unanswered. It was a tie game for a very long time. It was the end of the first quarter. It was 7-7. Then Sam Darnold ran it in for a touchdown. And then with 2 minutes left, they got a 4-yard rush. And then somehow they kick a field goal. Started the third quarter. Panthers get a touchdown. Lions score a touchdown. 2-point conversion failed. Who knows why they're going for 2. Then they kick another field goal. And they just weren't able to get anything done. The next touchdown was scored. With 3 minutes and 46 seconds left. Then they let the Panthers kick a field goal. And then with 36 seconds left, the Lions kicked a field goal on a 37-20 point game. They kicked a field goal. Jared Goff actually played fantastic. He threw for 355 yards. He was 25 for 42 and 3 touchdowns, whereas Sam Darnold was 15 for 22, but 250 yards. In those 15 passes, he threw for 250 yards and a touchdown. He also had a rushing touchdown. And Sam Darnold is really becoming something at the Panthers. He's showing life, definitely showing life. But this is where stuff gets a little interesting. The rushing leader, the leader in rushing yards for the Lions was Jared Goff, 3 carries and 15 yards. Whereas the Panthers' rushing game was 21 carries by Deontay Foreman. I think that's his name, right? Yeah, Deontay Foreman. He carried 21 times and had 165 yards and a touchdown. What was the Lions' running game? They have 45 yards of rushing. There's definitely got to be injuries. A fumble lost, and it doesn't say that it was him. I'm going to assume that is a running back. There definitely had to be some injuries. You cannot pull that in the rushing game. That is ridiculous. Nothing to be said other than the Lions disappointed me. Falcons versus Ravens. I kind of reversed this game. I said this would be the score if Marcus Mariota was in the game. Maybe even if this Riddler guy could do something. Riddler threw for 22. He completed 22 of his 33 passes for 218 yards, whereas Tyler Huntley completed 9 of his 17 for 115 yards and a touchdown. Both teams did good rushing. Yeah, and Drake London continues to be the best target for the Falcons. The Falcons were 1 for 4 on fourth down efficiency. Falcons had a turnover. Falcons led in yards, and they had more first downs, whatever. And somehow the Ravens were able to capitalize so many more points than them. Just bad. Sorry, I didn't show the score. 9-17, I think I got the scores almost identically reversed. And the Ravens win. Of course. I don't know why. Something about the Ravens. I do not like them. I just do not like the Ravens. Commanders versus 49ers, about what I expected. Nothing to be said here other than it was a lot closer than it should have been. Said the 49ers would win by 10. I gave the Commanders some hope. Maybe like a touchdown at the end of the game to make it closer. Well, it was a bit further than that. I was off by 4 on their score, off by 3 on their score. I'd say that's a pretty spanking good prediction. Eagles versus Cowboys. I gave this one to the Eagles if Jalen Hurts was coming back. I didn't know if he was or not. People were saying he could come back. People were saying he might not. He probably won't. I didn't know. So I just based my prediction off of Jalen Hurts being in the game. Well, even with their second string in, they made it damn well close. They pretty much got cursed. I'm pretty sure somebody did like a little dance, and from there on, it was just the Cowboys. Yeah, they got a touchdown, making it 34-27, and then it was all Dallas from there. Dallas scored a touchdown to tie it, kicked a field goal with 2:19 left, and then they kicked a field goal with 1:41 left. That tells me that an interception was thrown at the end. Bad time management by the Cowboys, only getting off like 30 seconds of time in that window. But yeah, Eagles weren't able to do it. Disappointing loss. They disappointed me. Raiders versus Steelers. I said the Steelers would be able to take this by more. My mic is in my way. I keep hitting it. I want the Steelers to finish positive. The Steelers had 350 yards of offense, whereas the Raiders only had 200. The Steelers were 2 for 2 fourth down conversions. The Raiders were 0 for 0. The Raiders had 3 turnovers. The Steelers only had 1. And ultimately, the Steelers had 5 more minutes of possession time. So, how did they not score? I'm asking the same question. George Pickens passed from Kenny Pickett at the very end of the game. Kenny Pickett finally put it through. Kenny Pickett was 26 for 39, 244 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Very good game for him. Derek Carr was 16 for 30, nearly 50% accuracy. He threw for 174 yards, a touchdown, and 3 interceptions. Whereas the rushing game was very similar, and the Steelers should have won it. The Las Vegas probability to win was just in their favor the whole time. They were projected to win on the road. It was in their favor the whole time, and all of a sudden at the very end, it just goes 100% Pittsburgh. Somehow they won it. Who knows how? They should have put down as many points as I said. And the Raiders, yeah, they deserve 10 points. I just swiped out, so there will be no more statistics because I didn't mean to do that. 10-13, who knows how the Steelers didn't put more points down. I just don't get it. You're in Steeler country. Yeah, this is Steeler country, baby, not being able to get points. Buccaneers versus Cardinals. Buccaneers should have won this game by a lot more. But I know they've been struggling greatly. Mr. Brady has not been doing good. And the Bucs ended up winning it in overtime. The Cardinals punted it in overtime and just let Brady go right down the field and win the game. I mean, yeah, good job by Brady. I'll give him all the respect for going right down the field and kicking a field goal. I mean, yeah, he's been good in clutch situations, but the Cardinals own this game. I think they were up 16-10. Then, of course, we just shut down. This should have been a win and a major upset win. I would have loved to see this because it most likely would have bonked Brady out of the playoffs. Packers versus Dolphins. I literally got this one reversed. I say this is a damn good prediction, though. The Dolphins take an L. The Packers take a dub. And with the Lions taking an L and the Packers taking the dub, now it looks like the Packers might be able to find themselves in a playoff spot. Like, the Lions win that game. The Lions have an advantage over the Packers. But now I think they're literally the same record in unbelievable circumstances, too. What looked like an easy win for the Lions in a pretty bad, and it looked like it was going to be a pretty positive L for the Packers. It just ended up reversing 26-20. The Packers did really good on kickoff returns. When I was watching this game, they did really good on kickoff returns. I don't know what it was about it. But I believe they literally brought like a kickoff into their 10, into the Dolphins 10. And then they, I don't know, I think they settled for a field goal or something. And yeah, I don't know. The Packers were just on top of it. And the Dolphins had more yards, but Rodgers, 24 for 38, 238 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That's all right stats. But Tua was 16 for 25 and 310 yards, a touchdown, but 3 interceptions. 310 yards and 16 completions, that's really good. Yes, Tua has a lot more options. I feel like Aaron Rodgers has struggled with his receivers. The run game wasn't impressive by either team. A. Dillon scored a touchdown on a rush. And yeah. Then our next game, Broncos versus Rams. I gave this one to the Broncos because Russell Wilson did really good before he got bonked out of the game against the Chiefs. And I was like, maybe he's improving. Maybe there's life hidden inside of Russell Wilson. And ultimately, the Rams have been I don't even know what to call them. They're absolutely nothing. I mean, they've been terrible. That was wrong. That was a lie. Baker Mayfield, 24 for 28. That's really good. 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. Cam Akers, 23 carries, 118 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tyler Higbee got 9 receptions, 94 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Russell Wilson was 15 for 27, 214 yards, a touchdown, and 3 interceptions. He put that touchdown on at the end of the game when it was already 41 to 6. The rush game for Broncos was terrible. It was god awful. It was just the worst performance I've ever seen from the Broncos. 4 turnovers. It looks like maybe Russell got sat or something. They were 1 for 3 on 4th down conversions, meaning they gave 6 giveaways. The Rams had a special teams touchdown, or a defensive/special team touchdown. Don't know which one that was. And ultimately, they had the same yards. It was just terrible defensively, which is like the Broncos' name. And I don't know what else to be said about this. Chargers versus Colts. Sorry for the absolute blinding. I don't remember what my reasoning was for giving this to the Colts. I don't remember what it was. But the Nick Foles, he literally won a Super Bowl for the Eagles. And 17 for 29, 143 yards, and 3 interceptions, whereas Mr. Herbert was 24 for 31, 235 yards, and 1 interception. They take this easily. I mean, the Colts are terrible. The Colts are just the worst team ever. I mean, they have absolutely flopped on their face. They had 3 turnovers. The Chargers literally had 2. Colts were 1 for 4 on 4th down efficiency. The Chargers were 1 for 1. So ultimately, the Colts had 6 giveaways. Chargers had 2. And yeah, the Colts had 173 yards of offense. The Chargers had 314. The Colts just suck. That's pretty much it. And that is all for my Week 16, I believe, review. Again, like and subscribe. It's cool. Comment your predictions and whatnot. Blah, 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 blah. That's all for me. Adios.